Sports.
Here are our scores from last week.
Yep.
Here we are. Just would like to point out that Kieran won. It was a very slim margin, obviously because our judge this week was her friend,
Yes,
Rosie.
Thank you for judging, Rosie. Thanks for judging, Rosie. Also, please take a note of Rosie's amazing units of scoring. My favorite is font fouls.
It's like when you use Comic Sans on anything ever. Font foul.
Font foul, yeah. Comic Sans. Permanent font foul.
Papyrus, also font foul.
Also, yeah. Curls, MT, also a font foul. Anyway, this isn't Girlsplaining Fonts. This is Girlsplaining Sports. And as the winner, I will be addressing all the topics first. So, let's, oh man, there went my stopwatch. Let's kick off our lightning round. All right, the first topic up is empty net. Now, empty net is a condition experienced by nets when they've sent all of their children off into the world. Usually it means that nets have to find another hobby to pick up, like knitting or a book club.
Empty nets is the feeling that an empty net is the feeling that a goalie gets in the off season when he is no longer guarding the net. It just feels like this deep existential despair. So he goes on a cruise or some shit with his friends. That's what you do, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to go on a cruise every time I felt empty. Whoa! Moving on. Next topic: broken bats, shoes. This is a new baseball cleat that comes all the way up a baseball player's leg, usually like a mid to high thigh cleat, just to protect those sensitive gams from splinters.
Okay, so Broken Bat Shoes is a new DIY project started by umpires where they just collect all of those splinters of broken bats and repurpose them into clogs. You can find them on Etsy.
Ooh.
Broken Bat Shoes.
I would not wear a pair of those.
No, that seems really painful.
Next topic up is hashtag this day in Jeter history. Now, on April 23rd, 1499, this day in Jeter history, Jeter got up, he said his prayers, he worked on a manuscript, he ate maybe a cracker and, drank a little bit of water, and it was a good day of silence for Jeter and his Mondays.
Mine's so much not as good. Okay, so 7 years ago, in Jeter history, Derek Jeter swallowed a whole roll of bubble tape and is still waiting.
Yeah, still waiting for that one to come through. Don't swallow gum, kids. All right, the next topic up is the battle for the West. Now, little known fact about Dan Marino is that the lead-in to his appearance in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, was a performance of a rough but golden-hearted cowboy in a B-Western movie called Battle for the West. And honestly, I think it was better than most of his football playing, which is saying something because he's a great football player.
So Battle for the West is an expansion pack that you can get for Oregon Trail, and it allows you to play as a multiplayer game, and you can fight other wagons. Also unlockable are the entire teams of the Clippers and the Golden State Warriors.
Does John Madden commentate it?
Obviously.
All right, the next topic is hashtag Ask the Boys. Now, this is a very, very important settlement tactic for any sports issue that's based directly on the U.S. Constitution. We just hashtag Ask the Boys.
Okay, so Ask the Boys. You might not know that all the sports franchises get together every year for a Sadie Hawkins dance.
Oh.
It's so basically this is when all the athletes sit around and they just wait for women to come and ask them to go to the Sadie Hawkins dance.
Oh my gosh.
But since a lot of these men have a lot of masculinity issues, they try to ask first. It just usually no one ends up with a date. It's a lot of wallflowers. Very sad.
Clayton Kershaw, I'm coming for you. All right, and our final topic for the day is Sports Lobster. Now, this is a new game, kind of like Farmville. You can play it on your phone or on Facebook, and the concept is that you pick a famous athlete to be, and the object is that you try to cook a meal without your personal nutritionist or chef.
I like that a lot. Sports Lobster I would play that, is a new show on ESPN Ocho with a giant talking lobster at the bottom of the sea who talks about sports topics and menaces all of his guests with his pincers, claws.
We should get him to do a guest spot on
Girlsplaining
Sports. All right, that's it for our lightning round.
Okay, now we are ready for our next segment, all jokes aside. And this week we're going to talk about how the Miami Dolphins have hired a former FBI employee to help them or something with the wake of their bullying scandal. Mm-hmm. So, obviously, football is a sport with a lot of bullying going on, but what do you think should be addressed in terms of the Miami Dolphins bullying scandal?
I think when you have a player that is as expressively bullying a couple of other players, such as, what's his name, Richie Incognito, then yeah, something needs to be done about that. Because it's one thing to, it's like the fraternity thing, right? Hazing is a part of the culture, whatever. That is a discussion that requires many levels to be had about, whatever. But if there's a certain person that's doing it, get on the
Well, what do you think it's going to be? I mean, the fact that I obviously think it's weird that it's going to be a former FBI employee. Like, what is the point here? Is it to like try to cover up bullying, or to like try to prevent people from seeing bullying?
Is the FBI employee educating them on are we
how to
educating
not
football
bully?
players like they're middle school students?
Or is it like
because they
trying
need
to
to be?
teach them to keep this shit off of Twitter? And it can still happen as long as the public doesn't know about it. I just
the
don't
FBI
know.
thing is weird.
Well, I thought the whole response to the bullying scandal was very bizarre. It was sort of like, oh, boys will be boys. Oh, wait, this is actually kind of awful, so let's take a sort of half-assed stand. I still feel like it's trying to avoid responsibility.
It probably is. I mean, that's still the MO of most, right? Sports, things, the underbelly of the sports, we're still trying to, smooth that over. But you're not fooling anybody.
You're not fooling anybody.
You're not fooling anybody.
God, I guess we should add the Miami Dolphins to the teams we hate. The New York Jets, the Washington Racists, and now
do we have to add the
Miami
Dolphins,
Dolphins.
or do we have to just add
Richie Incognito?
Fuck you.
New feature, Girlsplaining Sports, fuck you, boy. New York Jets, Washington Racists,
yes, and
Richie Incognito. Great.
Man, all right, so that list is going to grow by the
grow
minute.
and grow, okay.
Lastly, we got one tweet this week. We think it's a spam tweet.
But we're still going to respond to it.
Would you like to?
Yeah, so at QuizMeFootball tweeted at us, which player was MVP for Super Bowl #1? Got any answers?
My answer is George Washington.
I was just going to go ahead and say God.
Oh,
because I'm sure that, since football has been around, it's as important to us as though it has been around since the dawn of human history. I'm sure God was a great quarterback.
I bet he was.
I bet he cheated, though, because he was just like, I'm God. I can throw as far as I want.
Right.
I don't know how football works.
Was it an 8-day training session?
No.
Anyway, that's all the time we have.
That's
on
Girlsplaining
Sports
Sports
this week.
We'll see you next week. Gross. Bye.
Sports. Sports.